All right, I'm gonna call to order the
No, it doesn't mean they're friendly.
June 9th sewer board meeting for South Dearborn Regional Sewer District. First on the agenda is gonna be the approval of the meeting minutes as presented. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion.
I'll
Second.
I'll second.
Got a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Pat's not here today, so I'll ask Sean to sign and date the bottom of this one, please.
And everyone here?
Just on the front page, just somewhere down at the bottom there. Just the signature and date, stating that it was motioned and accepted. Next on the agenda is going to be the presentations. Give the opening report. Thank you. The O&M report for the month of May. Section 1. The only thing that's really on here is the significant meetings. Nathan, Mitchell, and Stark, and myself held project meetings to stay up to date with Project B. Also been meeting with the roofing contractors that are on site doing the roofs and stuff. That's pretty much every day. We talk about different things. That's moving along nicely. Next section is going to be operational highlights. This performance review here, we were at 61% on the flow capacity, 96.9 on BOD removal. TSS removal was 92.8. Ammonia removal, this would have been the last month, captured here on our winter limits, and it was at 82%. This coming month, we are on the summer limits, so still good, but just giving you a heads up. Phosphorus removal was at 66.8%. Budget report, Becky will give that next. Management report. Compliance reporting. We submitted the April MRO DMRs, violation free. Still working on May's. Still haven't heard anything on the sludge permit, which is good news. I don't typically expect to hear anything unless they want something done on that. And then I was contacted by the IDEM pretreatment group stating that our sewer use ordinance needed updated to capture parts of our permit that's not captured in it. I've been reviewing all that information to figure out what it is. And from what I can gather so far is we do not talk about indirect dischargers, and in our permit it does. They want that captured, so I think we're just going to have to put a section in there basically stating that we have the power to accept or decline any indirect dischargers, even though it can't happen because they come through your cities, but they don't accept that as an answer. So we'll just have to capture it in our sewer use ordinance, which means we're going to have to open that back up to edit a section. And then there's also a section where they said that our fines do not match our permit, so I need to dig a little bit deeper into that, but that'll be something that I'll be working on the rest of this month.
Have a deadline for that, or is that just an observation?
We had a deadline, which I met their deadline because I assumed all of our stuff was good since it was just approved by IDEM in 2021 and nothing in our permit in that section's changed. But because they have new people at the state level, she's called it out. So I had Nathan review it as well, and we're kind of working through like what we think it should look like. So the lady I've been talking to has been very willing to work with me, knowing that we're working on it. So.
Is that something Andy should assist us with, tweaking the SUO?
I think once we find the language, we would work with Andy to get a draft put out. That way it's all legally binding wording and whatnot. But I think we have to kind of sum up the language first and figure out where it would fall in what section.
Right.
And then we bring it to the board. Actually, before that, it's going to go to IDEM for review. They'll send it back as approved, and then it can come to us for a review. Technically, I don't like that. I want it to come to us to review, then go to IDEM. That way you guys all have the language that you want in it, and then we'll send it to IDEM for approval. They'll approve it, they'll come back to us, we'll vote on it, and it'll become letter of the law. I like that better. That's the way I would like to do it, so that you guys see it before it gets approved. So we'll work on that. Just kind of wanted to put that out in front of you guys that that's going on. So if you start seeing some emails or something about sewer use ordinances, that's what it's about. Maintenance report. I actually didn't get the maintenance book put in for this month, so next month I'll add it, so it'll have 2 months going into the next meeting. So this is actually, if you look at last month's, it's the same stuff. We just had a busy month with the roofing project and the blower project, like it just, and then this meeting being on the 9th, I just didn't get it in time, so. Plus it's 3 pages long this month, so it's gonna take me a minute. So, anyway, just so you know that, if there's any questions on anything, just ask, I'll tell you, I have it all, I just didn't get it put in here. And then maintenance issues to discuss. The only thing that's new on that is number 4. It's the primary tank number 1. It is drained, cleaned, and down. It broke the drive chain, and then when we started tearing apart to fix the drive chain, we realized that the tension arm is broke as well and wore out. So I am looking to have 4 new tension arms made to replace on each tank to get us by until we can do a rehab on it, because if that one's wore out from being, what, 27 years old, the other 3 are going to be the same way. So instead of waiting until they break, so we have to drain them, I'm going to go ahead and replace those tension arms to keep those chains tight so that they don't snap and we end up in the same boat. So I'm looking to have them made to see if it's cheaper to have them made or if it's cheaper to go through the vendor to get them. So I'm looking at a couple different options on that right now. And then training report, I don't have anything scheduled at this time. There was a training that took place a couple weeks ago for some CEUs, but it was an online training, so it was like nothing drastic. Is there any questions on the O&M report? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the O&M report.
Second.
Motion got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Next up's going to be the district's financial report. I'll hand that over to Becky.
Okay, through April, we're about $10,000 over budget. On the revenue side, we're $3,850 over budget, which is, I think, the closest we've ever been to budget. Employee and related, we're over budget, $43,000. Most of that is due to the timing of the 3rd payroll in April. We had it budgeted in May. We had 3 payrolls in May, or I did, I shouldn't say we. So that'll catch up next month. Professional fees, $24,800 below budget. That's mostly due to the not using any of the other services yet for the year. Other fixed costs were $24,000 below budget. We haven't spent much in the UV maintenance department. Variable costs were over budget about $22,000. A lot of that is utilities. We had the Sycamore gas catch-up bill last month. I think it was about $10,000. That put a little dent in that. We're $22,000 under in chemical hauling, the Rumpke bills, and we're $25,000 over in treatment chemicals. So that comes to a net budget of about $10,000 over budget. That's all I have.
Is there any questions on the financial report as given? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve Becky's financial.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
First and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we're gonna pay some bills. We'll do the regular monthly bills first. I'll entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
I got a motion. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
I got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any carries, thank you. Give that a second just to get some signatures on it, and then we'll, because we're gonna have, depreciation and capital, or project and capital.
Missed you at the Crony on Saturday.
And we're paying all the roofing out of capital.
Although the sheriff's department did say they got
That's what I did.
And I wanted to sit down, I didn't get a chance to come over and sit down, just to make sure, like, if there's anything to fill out for our records, like, if you need me to sign, or.
I've just been having Patrick sign the Mitchell and Stark ones.
CDS, is that project or capital? Alright, that looks like it's almost back to me, so we'll move on to, the depreciation vouchers. The payment's coming out of our capital for this month. We have 2 of those. One's related to the blower project, but because of the overages, and I shouldn't say overages, that's a really bad word to use. Because of, we agreed to pay a certain amount out of capital because of what was left in the SRF. This one will come out of capital. The other one is the roofing project that we also agreed to pay out of capital. This will be the first draw on the roofing project. So, first voucher we have for depreciation is to CDS Engineering, and it's for $26,165 for construction observation and inspections, review and submittal, stuff like that. So again, that one's $26,165. The second one is to Kelly Brothers Roofing. Just like I said, this will be their first draw for this, and it's for a total of $78,517.50. If it's okay with the board, I would like to present these as a package, and if not, we can do them individually. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2 capital vouchers.
I'll make the motion.
We have a motion. Can I get a second?
Second it.
A second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Capital. Capital.
Thank you.
Got just a second to make its way back to me.
You're gonna get that song stuck in my head.
Alright, on my head.
Me too.
That's already have it in my hand.
No.
Okay.
I thought I saw somebody get up, but they're all here.
Nathaniel,
Yeah, he's just a proxy.
You guys call him Nathan or Nathaniel or
Nathaniel.
Nathaniel? Okay.
Don't say nothing.
You set me up.
Nathaniel.
All right,
He
next
gets
up
really
is going to
offended.
be the special voucher for the wastewater treatment plant improvement project B. This will go for Mitchell and Stark on the blower project at the east plant. And this one is for $106,629.90. Again, this one's a special voucher. This one goes through the SRF account.
What account?
SRF or
Okay.
whatever. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Mitchell and Stark pay app, number 5 for $106,629.90.
I'll make that motion.
Got a motion on the table, can I get a second? Got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries, thank you. Bills are paid, appreciate that. I'll let you go in my room after. Appreciate it. Give that just a second. Okay, next on the agenda is moving on to unfinished business, the 2025 wastewater treatment plant improvements, Project B. Nathan, would you like to give an update on that, please?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of work done by Mitchell and Stark last month. They tore out the floor number 1, jackhammered the floor out to smooth it out and create a new equipment pad. They did all new blower piping, all new electrical. They're actually programming into this cascaded control system today with 2 new blowers. Hopefully looking at starting up blower number 1. And reminder, blower number 2 is actually in place and running already. Blower number 1 should be started up by next Tuesday, a week from today.
When I pulled out, there was, Bill Anderson, electricians, everybody was on site, so they might be doing something today.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to them yet.
So, that's all activity that's occurred in the last 30 days or so. We've got scheduled for the doors to get installed on June 15th, I believe. And the flood wall will go in after that. The only other component will be to button up the roofing replacement on that building. Probably the last week of June, I would suspect. So they're very quickly nearing completion of the entire project.
With, to add to that, this will move on to the next item on the agenda. When they cut the doors into the front of the building to place equipment and be able to access and service equipment, the way the highway and everything slopes, it comes back to the building. So with that being said, we have to cut a drain. Am I explaining this correctly?
Yeah.
We have to cut a drain in front of the doors, and then that one would be piped over to a storm drain that's sitting out by the front of the driveway to capture all the water that comes towards the building to keep it from flooding inside the building. And it'll take it out to a storm drain that sits out by the apron on 50. Actually, it is part of the MS4. I spoke to that department for Lawrenceburg, and he didn't have any issues with us doing that, just wants to be able to see it, inspect it, and do all the stuff. So with that being said, that would end up being a, what's it called, a change order on this, and it was included in your packet from Mitchell and Stark to perform that work, and a little picture of what it would look like and where it goes. So, Nathan, do you want to touch on that any deeper?
No, you hit it pretty well, actually.
So, there is a change order that's a request for this first project, something that we didn't anticipate until you get into the nuts and bolts of everything and how it had to happen. So, I guess I would be asking for a motion to accept the change order so that we can get that work done and keep the water from coming in the front of the building. So
And that was in the amount of 14,800.
it's $14,800 to cut the drain, install the drain, concrete over it, patch the driveway, and put it into the storm drain.
Yeah, I spoke with Tommy about this one. I'm not a good estimator on this type of work, but that seems high for a 15-foot section of pipe. And I don't know, was there any second opinions on that?
This is just from the contractor that was on site, kind of the first strategy was to take it to a storm drain that's on the property, and that came in way higher than I was even comfortable even thinking about. So I started to explore different options, and that storm drain out front, turns out that it's not state highway, it's actually you guys, which made it a little easier to work with. So as far as second opinions, I don't have anything, it's just literally what was brought to me, so I will bring it to you guys. You got anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it never hurts to look around for other opinions from other contractors. The only benefit here is Mitchell and Stark's they're already there, right? Their crews are already on site. Their scope of work currently includes forming a concrete apron in front of those doors anyway. So they would be integrating a trench drain into that concrete apron and tying it into this other storm inlet for the 14,800.
So, like I said, I'm at the direction of the board, that's why this is not something that, being tied to a project, it's not something I can approve without your all's blessings, so, or directions that you'd like to move on it. I think simplicity-wise, contractors there, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem, I mean, I'll make a motion to approve and get it done, I mean, I know what it's like when you got work getting done, you got a contractor there, it's a change order to that contractor,
I'll second it.
it's,
Then we have discussion.
Let's do it.
In the contract for change orders, how are they to be billed? Are they time and material? Well, it doesn't say in this letter.
It's not stipulated in the contract one way or the other. There's two options. We could do time and material or ask them for a lump sum.
And they just chose the lump sum for this?
We asked them for a lump sum.
Okay.
I heard you mention earlier that they have to do a concrete apron in the front anyway, so if we went with a different contractor, would they have to rip out that concrete apron to do this anyways, or,
They would.
so?
Yeah.
continuities, I mean, it's worth a lot,
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I agree with you there.
My motion still stands for it, so.
I'm fine.
yeah, I'm happy to vote too.
All right, so we have a motion on the table to approve the work change order for 14-8 for Mitchell and Stark to install the 4-inch drain into the storm drain located on the north side of the plant. Got a second for that?
Ryan?
I do have a second for that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, thank you. Next up's gonna be, I appreciate that, thank you guys. Next up's gonna be roofing soffit replacement update. Briefly touched on that a little bit in my O&M report. The very far back building that we call the lift station has been roofed, dried in, and the only thing left on it will be capping the brick around the top edge. The metal that they had was bent wrong for some pieces, so they went to have it redone. The main building, the admin building, the biggest one that's on the facility, is completely roofed. The only thing left to do on it is put on the ridge cap. And then they're on what we call the pre-treat building. They're working on that now. I would suspect in the next 3 to 3 weeks, probably, they would be done with our roofing project that we are doing. They'll be moving on to the Mitchell and Stark East Plant one. Same contractors doing that roof as well. I did, and we'll do that next, but it does kind of go with roofing, but we'll talk about it because it's a new business later. I requested some work be done on the back lift station, and we have a couple things to talk about when we get to that, so. Unless you wanna do it now, can I push things up on the agenda like that?
The agenda's just guideposts, you don't have to stick to it.
Then we'll just talk about it now. So in the back lift station, there is a control room on the top of the building, it's about 12 by 12. It's currently houses all of the elevator equipment, the electronics, the controls, the brakes, the cables, all of that.
That thing working right now?
The elevator is currently working. Otis has been on our case about that building having too much moisture in it, which is what's causing all of our issues with the elevator operating. So as part of the roofing project that we already completed back there, they had to remove two sides of the building to be able to berm it up so that the water drains in the right direction. And they were going to replace that with metal to match everything else. I requested a quote to go ahead and do the rest of the building because the other two sides of that building are about, I don't know, 80, 90 feet up off the ground, kind of hanging off the edge, so they have the equipment there. So I requested a quote to side the rest of that building, because they were going to do the front two sides at no cost to us as far as putting the metal on, because they didn't want to put back the fiberglass that was there. So the other two sides would be what's in your agenda is, I guess I didn't label them, my apologies, I have two change orders for that roofing project. Change order one would be siding the rest of that building so that it can be dried in. And by siding, it's not just put metal up, they're sheeting it, they're drying it in with like a wrap and then drying it in.
That control the moisture?
That would help.
Is it
Change
second
order
to
two
finish?
is gonna finish it, and that's where, that one kind of shocked me a little bit too. So once I explain both of these change orders, I'll explain a little deeper. Change order one is to finish siding the building. Change order two is to put the roof and dry in the roof so that that building will become completely dried in and would help protect the elevator equipment. So as we're looking at these two change orders, part of budget engineering, I guess, if you want to call it that, I don't know what the technical term would be. So we worked with them, and we have a $5,000 credit sitting with Kelly Brothers Roofing right now from, instead of doing a triple ply sealant on the back building, it was recommended by Kelly Brothers that if they did it, I think it's a double ply, the way that they did it, you would have the same warranty and all of that, and it would save us $5,000. So I took that in anticipation of a bunch of stuff being wrong as they tore the rest of the building apart, to come to find out there wasn't anything wrong. So we're still sitting on a $5,000 credit. So out of these two change orders, it would be that $5,000 less than what it shows, if that makes sense. So the second change order is the roof. Explanation on the roof is that thing was never designed to be quote unquote structural. It's got little over four foot spans on fiberglass panels. So in order to put anything on it to help dry it in, they're going to have to lay down like a corrugated metal to make the roof more structural to support any weight that it would need. So that's why that quote came up higher, is because you got more labor, and plus, like I said, you're 80, 90 feet up off the ground, and you can't stand on the roof to do the work. You have to do it off of a lift. So that second change order came in at 12/6/16, and it's because of the roof not being structural. So they have to create that to be the case before they could do the work. So total change orders would be 16,839. 49.
Is that minus the 5,000?
And then there would be, we have the credit, so then that would come off of that, so
Basically
About
12,000, yeah.
basically 11, 12,000.
I mean, I
And
know-
that would dry in the elevator, which would satisfy Otis, which would allow us the ability to go in there and like maybe insulate and try to keep it more from condensating. But as it sits right now, that building would still be the same as it was, so.
I mean, that elevator you've had problems with.
And
on and off
we have
forever.
spent a small fortune on the elevator, and if they keep telling me it's because there's moisture in that room, that's why I requested these two, to see. I'm not gonna lie, the second change order came in a whole lot higher than I expected it to. I tried to talk to them about it, and then they started explaining to me what they needed to do to make it structural and be able to dry it in, and that, it all kind of made a little more sense at that point, but that's where we sit. I would be requesting an action on these. Again, this would come out of our capital, and I know we're already spending quite a bit on the roofs, but if this was done, then everything in the plant has been moved and dried in, sealed, and, so, like I said, I would be requesting some action on this, whether we need to do one, not the other, or whatever you all feel like you need to do or wanna do. My recommendation would be doing both, dry it in and try to protect that elevator, because if we get to a point where that elevator fails, you're now opening up a whole new elevator installation, and that is not easy to get through, and nor is it cheap or something that I want to be in charge of.
Scary building.
You'd be pushing 7 figures.
That's a scary building. Yeah.
And that elevator does take you about 100 and some odd feet underground, so it's not the most pleasant building to be in, but, so anyway, like I said, I requested these change orders to see what it would look like to dry in that building and try to help protect that elevator, because we've been spending a small fortune on trying to keep that thing running, so.
Nathan, these make sense to you?
They make sense to me, yes.
They could, I mean, for what my experience is, they make sense here. I mean, I've been in there, and I know that elevator's been in trouble for 20 years.
Does anybody have any questions on the change orders that I didn't explain? Because I mean, I'll do but my best.
I'll make a motion to approve, change order number 2 and change order number 3 for Kelly Brothers Roofing. And I don't know what the exact total amount is, but.
Be $11,849 minus the credit.
Yeah, so, yeah, total would be, I don't know if this need to be in wording as total and then minus the credit in the minutes.
$12,616 and $4,233.
Yeah. Yeah, so you approve those two change orders at those amounts minus the credit that we.
I'll second it.
I've got a second on that. Is, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Again, I appreciate it. This should help correct the issues we're having back there in the back. I feel like all I'm doing is spending money. So that completes the unfinished and actually item B on new business. So we'll move on to, item A. We talked, it's asset management program. We talked about this last month. I told you all we've been going through different programs, Nathan and myself having meetings. We found one that we really liked, easy to use. I included the price quote for implementation and a yearly cost for the users in your board packet. There was also like my mind just went blank, I'm sorry. A PowerPoint that I couldn't send because it was too big. I wanted to send it, and I just didn't have a way to get it to you guys, so I can share that if you'd like, but, basically, this program has your asset management, which, as we all talked about last month, is a new requirement. Yes, we have time to get to that point, but, I mean, to me, I don't really want to drag your feet on it. I'd rather get ahead of it, learn how to use it before we're meeting deadlines. 2, this is super easy to use. I've walked a couple guys through it. They seem to be able to catch on real quick, and then the implementation part of this seems to be pretty top-notch. You get a team of engineers on their side that lead it, and then all we have to do is provide them the information they need. They'll build the program, they'll put in all the procedures, they'll take the owner's manuals and convert them to schedules. I mean, it's a pretty neat little program. So I personally am looking, Nathan, do you got anything to add on that? You've been in all these meetings with me.
The only thing that I would add is it provides the guys at the plant with a
Yeah.
workflow management tool on top of an asset management tool. Does that make sense? Like,
It's a CMMS system as well.
yeah,
So it does work orders, it tracks the cost of like what you're spending on each piece of equipment as you service it.
it helps them centrally manage their preventative maintenance schedules as well as record sort of their reactive maintenance items that all kind of feed into the asset management component of it.
Where do they input this? Do they have, computers, do they have iPads, how do they do that?
It works on iPhones and iPads.
So
It's all web-based.
that is a good point. I'm glad you asked that because it slipped my mind. It's a web-based program, so we can use it on the computers that are in the offices, because every office has a computer, everybody has access to the actual computer. I would like to purchase a couple laptops, not laptops, but iPads, so that you could utilize it out in the field, so that you have access to your procedures on how to do whatever it is that your work order is telling you needs done. Plus, it gives you the ability to take pictures. I haven't really looked into, I didn't want to look into all the iPad features, and the only reason I want the iPads is we do not do anything to reimburse employees or anything for their phones, and they tend to push back pretty hard when you ask them to put an app on their phone. So, to me, it makes sense that if we do a program like this, that we provide the technology needed to be able to utilize it, so that I'm not trying to ask my employees to put things on their phone that they might not feel comfortable doing or whatever. So, I don't even really, to be honest, I don't even know what an iPad would cost. I would say $100 for a cheap iPad. I mean, you don't need expansive amount of technology.
I don't know what world you're living in.
Good thinking.
Well, I don't need the giant one. I just need
it's
$700,
gonna
$800.
friggin'
yeah.
iPad or iPod for all I care.
Let me know where you find it for $100.
I was gonna say, this ain't the 90s no more.
I would
Anyway.
budget $1,000 an iPad, and
Yeah.
that maybe includes a case, you want a nice case for that.
I have a question on it. Does
Sure.
the software allow the end user to configure like new workflows? So if you guys get a new piece of equipment, do you have to go back to the vendor to have anything added
No,
to
you
it?
can create all of that yourself, and they will train you on how to do that during implementation. There's actually like if you're wanting to install a procedure, you could literally just hit the record button, speak your procedure, and then it puts it into like a checklist type item and takes out all the nonsense that you say that's not related to the project, if that makes sense.
It's useful.
Yeah. So I've done a couple of those while I was trying it out. I've got it on my phone as a trial right here.
At the risk of throwing out a trendy little, saying here, it's got AI built in.
Yeah, and then
That's what it uses to convert your voice into
Sure.
a checklist procedure. And it surprisingly works really well in the app, so.
So, yeah, so there's that, we do have the ability to add to it. The implementation side is basically, I think this is a good time to do it, and the reason I say that is our engineer has the owner's manuals and all this data and all the things that are needed for all the equipment in the plant that was just installed. So I don't feel like it would be a whole lot of
Now's a good time to
digging
get in.
deep. Yeah, digging deep into stuff.
Yeah,
And
now's a
then,
good time to get in.
we spent all this money, and I think we need to do what we can to maintain it the best we can, so that we're not spending this money.
Is this just a 1-year contract?
Yeah, it'll be, so the implementation's a one-time fee. That's gonna get their engineering team to help build everything. That'll require, they're telling me, an hour a day of my time just to chase down any information that they need. They then, the reoccurring is a yearly fee, so the 3,900 for 5 seats would be reoccurring every year.
I'll make a motion to approve this, and in my motion, I'll ask that you get quotes for iPads or get, an amount for iPads and bring this back to the next week.
Sure. I can do that. So I have a motion to, approve the Maintain X quote or order, whatever it's called, with stipulations on, me bringing back quotes for the equipment needed to use it.
I'll
Second.
second that.
A second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
Can
carries.
you share their contact information with us?
Yes.
It's like you said, it's mandatory. We all gotta deal with that. So we might as well start reaching out to these people.
Tyler talks about 7,000 miles a minute, but
Yeah,
Gary's
he's very
knowledge-
excited
That's
to
all right.
learn that you guys were interested in it.
And I did already tell him that you guys were interested.
He was very careful about not mixing sort of the other cities into this implementation.
Yeah.
At the risk of delaying this implementation, but he is eager to speak with you guys.
If you can just reach out to us, set up some kind of appointment meeting, different cities and all that, and come in and talk to people.
Yeah, I can give you some information and I can let him
Or
know.
at least his number, I'll call him.
Yeah, I can send it to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that goes here. Next on the agenda is gonna be the sewer use ordinance review and adjustments. I just put that on there because I brought it up in my O&M report, but it's still kinda early on that right now. But it's just, like I said, I wanted to put it out in front of you guys, let you know that we're gonna have to open that back up. I don't see it being anything drastic other than we're editing this section or adding this section, editing this other section. So, said I'll do my best to put some language out in front of Andy so that it makes sense and we'll go from there. Bring it back here for our review, send it to IDEM for their approval, and then bring it back here for our approval, so. And I will inform IDEM, the lady's name's Mary Armacost, I'll talk to her and let her know that we're in the works to do this so that it's not looking like we're not doing what they're requesting done. She's been super easy, super nice to deal with, probably one of the nicest people I've talked to at IDEM.
That's good to hear.
So,
It's rare to find.
It's good to hear.
we will, I will work on that and get something to you guys as soon as we can put it in writing for review. So, is there any questions on that? Good. Next up is the, public. Public, do you wanna speak? Okay, no public.
So moved.
Got a motion for adjournment.
Second.
Got a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The meeting is adjourned, thank you all.
Good morning, sir. I just made my motion for adjournment. You just missed it. Yeah.
Do you know when your outage is going to happen?